Imagine that you were talking to someone and suddenly you get asked a question. Turns out you know a lot about this subject, so you happily answer on and on and on. The person you're talking to seems interested and keeps listening, even taking notes. You end the conversation and you're happy you were able to help. But then you suddenly wonder, could I have said that? Didn't I disclose too much information? What if I get into trouble for saying all of that? Pasobra ba yung daldal ko at kwento?
Parang TMI or too much information yata ako. Now, our reader, Julianne P. Hi, Julianne. She was wondering the same thing when she submitted her question via our topic suggestion board. So, what did she say? Attorney, what information can a previous employer disclose about a separated employee during employment verification? Is a letter of authorization from the concerned employee a requirement before an employment verification be entertained? I'm sure Julie isn't the only one wondering about this. If you can relate to Julie, then stick around as we get this sorted out. This video is brought to you by the Complete Employee Discipline System, a book that teaches owners, managers, and supervisors how to handle any offense easily and systematically. It provides step-by-step procedures from incident reports all the way to the clearance process. Stand your ground and discipline with confidence. Go to info.legalguide.ph/discipline to learn more. Welcome to Legal Guide Philippines, where we simplify the law to help you make better choices. I'm Attorney Ramon Ramirez, and I'm with my partner,
Attorney Erwin Zagala.
so today we're talking about disclosures in relation to the certificate of employment.
So here's the situation. So you have a former employee and you issued them a certificate of employment.
Okay.
Now this employee then applied with another company.
Okay, another one. Okay.
As part of that company's hiring process, they verified the certificate of employment with you.
Okay, akin.
Mhm.
All right.
Now, when another employer calls you up to ask about a former employee, what are you allowed to say about them? What does the law allow you to disclose? Will you get in trouble if you share truthfully? Totohanan lang, di ba? How much is too much information based on the Data Privacy Act?
Yun.
Take note
Privacy.
that if you disclose too much or something that's supposed to be confidential, you can really get into trouble. So you have to be careful about this. To help you out, I'm giving you a framework so that you can navigate this complicated situation
What-
with ease.
What kind of framework is this, Attorney Erwin?
Well, let's call it the triple V levels of disclosure. Are you ready, Attorney Ramon?
Yes, absolutely. Triple D.
Okay, so level one of the triple V framework is default.
Default.
Yes.
Default.
Okay, default because this is what you can say, validate, or state without any risk at all. This involves information that's already on the certificate of employment that you issued.
So, nasulat ko na eh.
So by default,
Okay.
you can validate or confirm it without any feelings of doubt whether you should be doing it.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense.
Why? What's the logic? Bakit default, Attorney Erwin? I don't have to do anything to make sure that I'm doing the right thing. Yes, because you already stated it.
Mhm.
Remember, you already issued this information in the certificate of employment. So there is nothing legally wrong with validating what you already certified to.
Okay, but so all I need to do is just not answer the call anymore and just say, tignan mo na lang yung inisyu ko na certificate of employment. That's all you need to know.
Well, that's one way of doing it. However, even if it's default, there are still some things that you need to check. Kasi baka yung version of your certificate of employment differs from the version that was submitted to that employer.
So parang nirekto. Nirekto.
Posible, dito rank and file.
Oo.
Pagdating doon, ano na?
Supervisor.
Oo,
Ganun.
or yung sweldo niya rito, kunwari, 25,000. Pagdating dyan,
75.
oo, para maka-negotiate siguro ng better
Okay, okay.
position.
Does that happen? Probably, no? Sometimes.
I hope not on
No?
our watch.
Yeah,
Diba?
not on our watch.
Tata yan. But even if it's a default, basically, legally, you're just validating what you already said.
Mhm.
Ingat pa rin because you need to validate kung pareho ba yung information which is
That's
being
right.
validated.
It's a good tip, Attorney Erwin.
So with that, let's move on to level 2. Ano naman yung level 2? This is
Di rin yan.
discretionary. Now, why discretionary? Ibig sabihin kasi ng discretionary, kailangan pag-isipan and magdedesisyon ka whether to allow it or disallow it. Correct?
Mhm.
So, hulaan mo, Attorney Ramon, sino yung nag-exercise ng discretion at this level? Kung dapat mang ilabas yung information na nakapaloob sa level na to. Employer or employee?
Since data privacy yan, I would think employee.
You got it. So, discretion po ng employee
Mhm.
kung pwedeng pag-usapan itong mga bagay na to. Why? Why do we need the permission of the employee? Because we're talking about information that's no longer on the certificate. It goes beyond. So, itong information na to, it can be personal or sensitive. And to be safe about it, we would recommend that you secure a waiver or a letter of authorization from the employee allowing you to disclose these things to the hiring entity. That way, hindi kayo pwedeng balikan ng employee saying, hey, you weren't supposed to say that. That's private. Especially kapag medyo negative or against sa kanya.
Bakit mo nilagay na crush ko si ganito? No joke. But attorney, so what are these private? What can an employee say? Oh, that's private.
Okay.
What are these things?
Let's tackle some examples para medyo broad, maintindihan ninyo ano ba yung flavor or ano yung pinag-uusapan ng nature ng information here at level 2. Let's first go to the Data Privacy Act. Ayan, dito maraming examples dito.
Mainit yan.
Yes, kasi Section 3 talks about sensitive personal information. Ang mga examples na pinag-uusapan dito, an individual's race, ethnic origin, marital status, age, color, religious, philosophical, or political affiliations.
Pati political, ha?
Medyo sensitive yan. Pwede rin pinag-uusapan dito yung individual's health, education, genetic or sexual life, or to any proceeding or any offense pertaining to the employee. Baka umabot kasi sa korte at some point, di ba? Pwedeng maging masela na topic yan. So, those are some examples. Pwede rin natin dagdagan. Health records, mga license, yung mga government registrations, SSS, PhilHealth, Pag-ibig. Diba? So, those are sensitive information in according to the Data Privacy Act. Pwede rin naman, aside from those enumerations, may mga bagay na sensitive, kagaya ng, paano ba nahiwalay itong empleyadong to sa kumpanya ninyo? Nag-resign ba? Natanggal ba to? Kung natanggal, bakit? Ano yung naging kaso?
So, attorney, hindi ko pwedeng i-disclose yun. Like, kumari, nagnakaw sa akin and I had to terminate them with cause.
Okay. So for that, yung manner of separation, medyo gray area kasi there's nothing specifically prohibiting you from disclosing that. However, to be on the safe side, alam mo naman, gusto namin safe kayo.
Yep.
So I would recommend kuha na lang kayo ng authorization or waiver. That way, kung sakali may mapag-usapan na maselan kagaya nito, safe kayo. Diba? So again, gray area, pero be on the safe side. Iba pang mga sensitive areas na pwede pag-usapan. Salary. Kung sakaling hindi na indicate dun sa certificate of employment. Pwede rin naman, how was the relationship with workmates?
Okay.
Ano ba to? Okay ba makisama to? Baka
Team
marami,
player ba yan?
baka marami nakaaway yan, di ba? Performance, di ba? Kamusta yung mga evaluations? Accomplishments, nature of work, and possibly emergency contact details ng tao, sinong tatawagan kapag may nangyari, o di ba? Or other work references. Could be. Now, any information that can be categorized under any of these items, again, I would consider them as personal information, and just to be safe, get authorization para lang malinis.
Okay, that's a great tip, Attorney Erwin.
Now, this leads me to the third level. Ano kaya? Ano to? I'm sure di nila mahuhulaan. Level 3 of the framework is double discretionary.
Double discretionary.
Kasi dalawa na hihingian mo ng permission bago natin mapag-usapan yung information which is included here. So, unang discretion na pinag-usapan natin is sino?
The employee.
Ngayon, magsasama tayo ng isa pa. And ang kailangan mong hingian ng discretion is, drum roll tayo, yourself. You. Yung nagbibigay ng information.
The employer. The first employer.
Yes.
Okay.
Why is that? Kasi this information deals with information that you own, pag-aari po ng negosyo ninyo.
Why is that?
Okay, itong information na to is company property or assets. And you are the best judge of whether it's allowable or it's reasonable for you to disclose this to third parties? What are some examples para
Sige.
luminaw?
Oo, please.
Okay, so, di ba may empleyado? Ito naman yung pinagmulan ng usapan natin, di ba? So, pinag-uusapan, sir, sino po yung mga clients na na-serve ng empleyadong to habang nagtatrabaho sa inyo?
Okay, so
Wait.
Oh.
Client list ko na yun.
yes.
So, call ko na if I want to disclose that. Or, sir, ano po yung mga project na this employee worked on while working with you? Sandali. Akin na yun. Diba? Or pwede rin naman, sir, ano po yung intellectual property outputs na nagawa nito? Kunwari, pinagsulat mo ng libro or ng brochure
Or
or
gumawa ng programs. No?
program or proposal. Or, sir, magkaano po ang income na na-generate ng empleyado to para sa kumpanya ninyo? Or pwedeng medical records or nature of services or anything related to financials. So I'm hoping that you're seeing the distinction. Ano ba yung nature or ano yung flavor ng mga information na nakapaloob sa level 3. Again, it's discretionary on your part whether you want to part with this information or you want to share it. Why? It's your property. Ikaw na yung nagmamayari niyan. So that's the 3 levels. Hopefully, by giving you the whole playing field, you're able to make sense of things better.
Can I have ask a question? So, what do I do? Let's say you said it's discretionary in the part of the employer. Let's say I'm the employer.
Level 3.
Yeah, level 3. So, what do I do if the questions being asked of me, I feel that's already too confidential.
Okay. 2 words. It's confidential. Okay, so kunwari tanongin mo ako, attorney, ano po ba yung mga clients na sinerve nitong employee na to? I'm sorry, it's confidential. Next question, please. Hey, sir, ano pa ba yung mga income na pinasok ng employee na to? I'm sorry, it's confidential. Next question. I think I get the point. Okay, that's good, and I hope you got the point as well. Okay. So, thank you, Attorney Erwin, for answering these questions. Can we do a recap? All right, I'll do it. So we talked about the triple D framework when answering employee verification questions. So the first one is default, which is the level you can answer at any time. Why? Because you're merely repeating what you've already stated beforehand. Next is discretionary. Now, where it's preferable to get a waiver or authorization from the employee so you don't put yourself at risk when you say something that's not favorable to the employee. Or too personal. Yes, or too personal. Okay. And the third level is double discretionary because you not only go beyond you go beyond the employee's discretion, and you also take into account your own discretion on whether it's a good idea to disclose these things. For most of you, this video was more than enough and it makes your life easier. You're welcome. But there are some of you who will watch this video and end up asking more questions, such as, Attorney, what do you put in the certificate of employment? Or, Attorney, how do we process the exit of an employee to get to this point? Or, Attorney, what else are they entitled to aside from the certificate of employment? If that's you, then I invite you to check out the Complete Employee Discipline System book, where we teach you a roadmap to handling employee discipline cases from start to finish so you know what the next step is regardless of where you are in the process. The essential parts of the legal documents involved so you can use it to draft or check the legal documents that you put out, and tips for every step of the process so you can validate if the things you're doing in your business right now are in line with what the law says. Get the book at info.legalguide.ph/discipline today. Now, to add to that, if you want us to tackle your question in our show, as we did for Julianne, go to legalguide.ph and click the Submit Topic button. Next, we'd like to know what's your biggest takeaway from today's video. So please write it down in the comments and let's talk about it. Last, if you feel we've earned a good rating, please give us a like and subscribe because it gives us feedback that we're doing a good job and it encourages to do more videos. One last thing. Your primary job is to protect your business. Be aware of the limits so you don't overstep your boundaries when you share information. But at the same time, be mindful of helping others. Come from a place of compassion and try to provide as much allowable information so that your fellow business owners can make an informed hiring decision. Do your part to create a safer hiring environment for everyone because tomorrow, you may be the one asking for more information. So was it that simple?
Now go make better choices.